All right, let's just jump right in. Think about that device you're probably holding in your hand right now. It's got hardware, right? An operating system, and of course, a network connection. But what if I told you that exact same blueprint, that simple model, could actually explain some of the deepest questions about who we are? Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to explore this really powerful analogy that frames our very existence as a piece of, well, divine hardware.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever just felt a little disconnected? You know that feeling? Like there's a part of you that's just not quite online, maybe not fully synced up with everything around you, or even with something bigger. It's a super common feeling, right?
Well, what if the answer to that feeling of disconnection, and maybe even how to fix it, is sitting right there in the palm of your hand? I'm talking about your smartphone. I know. It sounds a little out there, but trust me on this one. Just stick with me.
Okay, so let's pop open the owner's manual for this divine hardware of ours. To really get a handle on the whole system, we've got to start with the basics, the core components of our own personal operating system. All right, this is the key to everything. It all boils down to understanding this one simple parallel. See, we're made of three distinct parts: the body, the soul, and the spirit. And guess what? Each one has a perfect, and I mean perfect, counterpart in your phone. The body, that's your physical hardware. The soul, your personality, who you are, that's the operating system. And the spirit, that's your network connection. Let's dive into each one of those. First up, the body. This one's the easy part, right? It's the physical device itself, the casing, the screen, the chips inside. It's the hardware that lets you touch, see, and interact with the world around you, just like your phone. You can see it. You can touch it. Simple. Okay, next up is the soul. Now think of this as your personal operating system. Are you an iOS or an Android person? This is your mind, your will, your emotions. It's the software running on the hardware. It's what gives you your unique personality, right? It's the user interface that you use to experience the world and make all your decisions. And last but not least, we have the spirit. Now this is arguably the most crucial part of the whole setup, and yet it's totally invisible. The best way to think about it is like your SIM card. I mean, you can have the fanciest, most expensive phone with the latest OS, but without that little SIM card, it's useless for its main purpose. It can't connect to the network. No calls, no internet. Our spirit is exactly that. It's the component designed specifically to connect us to the divine network, to God. Okay, so now that we've got our terms straight, hardware, OS, network, let's rewind a bit. Let's take a step back in time. What did these human devices look like before this global network was even switched on? Let's call this factory mode. So way back when, you could say humanity was in factory mode. The hardware worked fine, the operating system was running, but that crucial part, the SIM card slot for the spirit, it was empty. Because of what the Bible calls sin, which you can just think of as a fundamental network incompatibility, there was zero connection to the divine. The device was, for all intents and purposes, completely offline. So, you might be wondering, what did faith even look like in this offline era? Well, people were kind of like users of a really basic first-generation phone. They had to follow this massive external instruction manual, which was the law. There were no automatic over-the-air updates, no app store, and definitely no cloud sync. Everything, and I mean everything, had to be done manually. It was clunky, but then something huge happened. A single pivotal moment in history that was like a giant switch being flipped, turning on the network for everyone, everywhere, all at once. This was the moment the connection finally went live. That event, the resurrection of Jesus, you can think of that as the moment the divine 5G network went live across the entire globe. And just like that, suddenly the potential for every single human device to get a SIM card and connect to God became a reality. The spirit could be made alive, or as the Bible puts it, born again. It's just like activating a brand new phone for the very first time. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. Just because the network is live doesn't mean every device is automatically connected. For someone who doesn't believe, it's kind of like being offered a free SIM card with a totally unlimited data plan, but choosing to just leave it on the table. You never actually put it in the phone and activate it. The potential is right there, but it goes completely unused. And that brings us to the flip side, the believer today. Their device? It's got an active SIM card, they are on the network with a full-blown 5G connection, they're getting constant updates, syncing their data to the cloud, they are fully online, operating exactly as they were originally designed to. Oh, but it gets even better, because once you're connected, you get this incredible software upgrade. The Holy Spirit. Think of it like a super advanced built-in AI assistant combined with a top-tier security system. It guides you, it protects you from viruses and malware, and it helps your main operating system, your soul, run smoother and more efficiently than ever before.
So what happens at the end of the device's life cycle? Well, there's a final system check. But it's probably not what you're thinking. It's less about some kind of angry judgment and a whole lot more about, well, network verification.
And there are really only two ways this can go. On one hand, if a device was never registered to the network, if that SIM card was never activated, it faces what the Bible calls the Great White Throne Judgment. You can think of this like an authorization check that fails. It finds the device isn't registered, and as a result, it gets permanently locked out of the network. But for a verified, registered device, the check is totally different. At what's called the Bema seat, it's not about getting locked out at all. It's more like a performance review, an evaluation of how you used your connection, with rewards handed out for a device that was used well. And that performance review, it leads to the final destination for every single registered device. And we're not talking about some minor software patch here. Oh no. This is a complete, top-to-bottom, eternal upgrade to your final form. So in this glorified state, the hardware, your body, becomes immortal, indestructible, and the operating system, your soul, is finally perfected. It's completely free of bugs, malware, glitches, you name it. It just runs in perfect, seamless harmony with the creator of the network. It's still you, but you fully realized the 2.0 version. I mean, just look at these specs. You become a next-gen, eternal device. The hardware is literally indestructible. The battery life? It's infinite, and your entire being is rooted directly into the God OS, the source code of the entire universe. It is, without a doubt, the ultimate upgrade. So let's just zoom out for a second. I look at the entire journey one more time. We all start out in factory mode, powerful but totally disconnected. Then the resurrection happens and the network goes live, making a connection possible for every single person. Then we each get a choice, SIM activation through belief. At the end of our life cycle, there's that system check to verify our registration. And that, finally, leads to the promised eternal upgrade into our final glorified state. Look, if you remember only one thing from all of this, make it this simple, powerful summary right here. Your body is the device. Your soul is the OS. Your spirit is the network. Judgment isn't about punishment. It's about verifying your registration. And glorification, that's the final eternal upgrade. See how perfectly it all fits together? And so, all of this leaves us with just one single crucial question to think about. The network is live. The SIM cards are free and available. The eternal upgrade is promised. So the only thing left to ask yourself is your device registered?